not traveling the world.
What do you think?
Listen up! I'm only gonna say this once!
Time for some live oil painting. Time for some live oil painting.
Time for some live oil painting.
So,
Hit your pen, pour a drink, and dive into the chat to see what's running through the mind of the man who knows he's holier than thou. Saint Carlos, patron saint of oil paint. This is Paint with a Saint.
my intro's all chopped up. Oh my god. Hi, everybody. I'm not supposed to be here right now. I have been sick, stuck in bed for a couple days now. My head is destroyed. I have a migraine at the same time as likely a sinus infection. My body hurts, my teeth hurt. Just everything sucks right now. My head is pounding. I don't know how this is gonna go, but I just had to do something creative because I can't just sit around and not work on something. So we're gonna do a little bit of painting. We'll see how long I can pull this one off for. Hope y'all are having a good day. Let's see how I do. Alright, so what I want to do today is work on this section up here. Essentially just the sleeve. That's my goal. If we can make it, cool. If I turn it off after 5 minutes, that's fun too. Let's watch me behind the camera. Okay, so I have just a small palette pulled out, just some reds. Let me see. This way. I don't know if that helps anything, but some Blizzard Crimson, some transparent red lake oxide, cat orange, yellow ochre, from white, yellow green, gray. Nothing's mixed yet. We're gonna do that as a team. So we'll just kind of jump in and go from there. I think with this painting, to the best of what it will allow, I want to go from the upper left-hand corner to the lower right-hand corner and just paint our way that direction, which is why I want to start with the sleeve. And whew, I am feeling it. Just gonna start by mixing up a dark tone, something similar to a black, but you know, obviously not. It's just straight alizarin crimson and phthalo green. And I don't know. Yeah, definitely translates to black, so that's cool. I've been looking forward to the foreground of this painting since conceptualizing doing this, so this is going to be a nice opening day here under the best of circumstances. You can hear it in my voice. I sound awesome. This is what I should do, voiceover. Sick. I can do voiceover work for all of the gravelly characters. It's gonna be a good time. I'm excited for this. Again, I wish I didn't feel like crap, but whatever. What you gonna do? So I'm gonna try to mix up. Grab a separate brush. I'm gonna have one brush going for the darks and one brush going for like my full chromatic red tones. This is our first color mix of this like Red Wings jersey. So getting the color down is pretty important. I have a relatively small paint palette to work with. works, it works. And if it doesn't, then we'll figure it out. It's all good. I'm just gonna drop some random splotches on really quick just to see how we're looking on the canvas. Red's a really transparent color, so it's kind of a bummer when you have these like under sketches, because you want all that stuff to disappear, but because red is so transparent, it really makes me think that it's just gonna jump through. But that's straight. This is all about learning, right? A couple shapes here that are not indicated in my under sketch, but that's what drawing skills are for, so we're right there. I wanted to paint last night during or before the Red Wings game. I was just too dead. Today's like sickness is like, it hit me so hard when I woke up yesterday. It was like this queen little, oh man, my voice is really bad, and I'm like contagious. Maybe I should stay away from people. This morning I woke up like, do you want to just die today? That's what my brain was saying. So, like I said, see what we can get through here. I'm going to keep my eye on the chat. We don't have anybody in the chat right now. I think I'm the only person on right now. So mercifully, this might be the good deed of the day. Tones are gonna work. Checking on my stream screen right now. It looks pretty nice, so I'm gonna keep rolling with it. So then that would make this like my mid-tone deeper red, which I gotta make it a little bit deeper. Totally work like that. Let's see if I can't down a little bit. But yeah, I need a mid-tone. I need a lighter. Lighter red on my reference, like where the light's hitting it, has more of like a tomato paste look to it, meaning that it's a little chalky, a little bit flatter. I don't necessarily know if that's what I'm going for, but today's gonna be a good experiment of how to mix my tones for the rest of the jersey colors. I want some nice rich tones, and I can already tell that. So what I want to do is, you can see I have these sketched out subsections. I want to block in all of these areas, get it committed to the canvas, and then work on just softly blending in and out of focus the areas that we want to pop, the lost and found edges, so to speak. I'm using some round brushes today. They're relatively big brushes, but that's fine. All the rounds come to a nice tip, so really like when I put down more pressure, I get a better spread. Oh my god, my hand is pounding. When I put down more pressure, I get a better spread. But beyond that, it's mostly just working off the tip, getting the tightest detail I can. And like the conical part of the tip of the brush helps you blend and mop and push in one tone into the other. So that's nice as well. All right, there's a little wedge of white up here. I think it's that. Just right a little bit further forward here. And we'll focus on this elbow portion before moving down towards the jersey number. Here. specificity, control. You tell me, you name it. What I'm trying to do is think of this in 3 colors and 3 tones at first. I'm trying to think of this as a dark, medium, light, and then once I get all the bands of color locked in, then we can blend them out and then fine tune it. The goal, if you recall, with this style of painting, is to do everything in one shot, finish the section, without really having to come back at all. Now, at all is a misnomer. We're obviously going to come back in and tune stuff, but for the most part, the idea is not so much about the layering process as the blending process. And I wouldn't mind if I learn some new approaches on this. You're always learning, right? Whenever you do a new painting, a new tattoo, a new drawing, whatever, it's always a learning process, but I'm trying to get a little closer to one of my favorite painters, William Adolph Bouguereau. And he was like Scott Waddell, a contemporary artist in that style. He was a wet painter, just blending one subsection into the other subsection. As he went, he didn't rely on glazing effects too much. A little bit, but not too much. So I haven't even mixed my lightest tone yet. I'm still just working with my dark and my mid. When I mix the lighter tone, it's likely going to be a little bit more orangey. So get that like flatter tomato paste look to it. Really shouldn't be leaning my palm on the canvas surface, so I'm going to use this small stick for some better support. But is wiggling. Should more securely fasten this to the wall. I didn't like screw this in or like hyper fasten the canvas to the wall when we started the stream because I didn't know if this is going to be the permanent location to be filming this painting, but 4 episodes it's been locked in this one spot, so I might as well really anchor that. I can disanchor it. I've done that in some pretty extreme senses before. I've actually put screws straight through a canvas stretcher board, through the canvas, through the stretcher board into the wall before. Ill-advised behavior, but I have done it. I'm not afraid to do it again. Alright, let's see. Up a lighter tone after this little spot, and then we'll start plugging it in all throughout here. All that's like melody tone. So let's mix that up. I know I don't have a camera on my palette today, but let me see if I can just lean while I mix. Okay, so this is my black, the dark, my mid. If I'm coming in this semicircle, I'm gonna do like my lighter right up here. Now, if I went straight alizarin crimson and like white, that will knock down the chromatic value, but I don't know if it's gonna be too pink. I still need it to be a little bit more orangey, right? So add orange. I'm mixing with my brush instead of a palette knife right now because I'm sick and I'm phoning it in. I'm just kidding. I'm mixing with the brush just because it doesn't really matter today, since I have to wash this brush after we're done painting anyway, and these are the only tones I'm using today. It's not like I have to use this brush for flesh tones that add into these reds. It's just straight up out. So yeah, if I throw white in there, which I did, it'll bring down the chromatic value. So that gives me a little bit more of that tomato pasty light hitting it, flattening it out color. Now, how is that as compared to just my straight crimson? Not straight. Mostly just straight alizarin crimson. You can see the tones. Yeah, just there. Let's give it a shot. Let's bring this back to the canvas here. Alright. Let's see how this works. Oh, for my light tone. Alizarin crimson with that. Better. Or do you see that Campbell's tomato soup with milk in it? This is where the light's hitting the jersey. And it's not passing through the fabric of the jersey or anything like that. So it's literally flattening out. It's not warming anything up. If anything, down here where the light comes through, it's a couple layers of fabric that might warm it up a little bit, but this isn't necessarily the type of, like, it's not the flesh of an orange or an earlobe with backlit sun. Like, this is just fabric, polyester. So I don't think we're gonna get glowing warmth effects out of our jersey material necessarily. Basically, I'm just blocking in all the voids that were left from those first couple of tones. And then once that's in, we can blend out any seams or leave as is. We'll see how it looks after we finish getting these in here. I feel like there will be a session after all the jersey material is done. And it might be per skater, or maybe after they're all done, I'm not sure, where we'll go in and we'll be able to like hyper detail some of what the photograph could not pick up, which is like I call it like the pores in the jersey material, those little holes that you see in sports jersey fabric. Oh yeah, this is already looking great. Cool. All right, so while I have this color on the brush, there's a nice big void up here. That is all that same tomato pasty color. Just drop that all in here. I like when the opportunity arises to have these large fields of color, just like solid tones. Because detail is fun and all that. Like doing a painting that's got just big open areas of solid tone is like having a song that's got some nice bits of silence between the notes. This whole section here is going to be a deeper red, so let me jump in and there are some effects on here, or not effects, but there's some tricks of the trade with using these brushes to get the color in. But honestly, like, I don't think anybody's following around on these like as though they're tutorials. If you are, I'm sorry, they're not narrating enough to keep you up to speed. But a lot of these, a lot of what I'm doing right now is just, you can hear me like pushing it into the canvas, getting it into the texture, the thread of the canvas. But I'm using the conical tip of that round. In some cases, you know, lifting a little bit more pressure, or lifting a little bit less pressure so I can blend into adjacent areas, or pushing a little harder to make sure I get the full glob of paint off of my brush. I'm not too interested in a thin painting. I'm not trying to just breeze the paint in here. I really wanted to saturate the canvas. And if this indeed becomes the, you know, one and done style painting, that's paramount. To be able to get your stroke in and then move on. I'm just gonna stay quiet today. Chad's dead. I'm dying. Seems like a good stream to just vibe out. So I will do. Let me think here. Guess I can come down and just block these edges in. So I have them. I don't mean to be insensitive right now, but I feel like I'm getting a preview of what streaming painting is going to be like if I'm going through chemo or something in the future. Just don't want to let go. I gotta do some more streams, I gotta do some more painting. And the whole time I'm just like, oh, I can't do this. But I'm going to force myself to. It's really, this is, you know, right now, this is just for me because I've been laid in bed and I can't do it. I can't do it any longer. Laying in bed for 3 days getting better is for the birds. I'd rather struggle through being upright and sentient. Getting better. I like how this is coming along already. You can tell that it's going to look pretty smooth when it's all said and done. The real test on this is going to come later. When I finally get to work on the face and use my portrait painting skills. Patience, patience, patience. A lot of painting to get through. And it's all deeper. And down here, maybe shadow shape. I've seen this style of this approach to painting before, of laying down your sketch and just filling in your subsections, paint by number style. I've seen this presented before in a way that feels more like a craft tutorial. You know what I mean? Like there's some serious fine art things that skills it takes to pull off this kind of painting to begin with, but it's always felt too easy for me because I like to find the painting, blocking in and moving things around without a drawing. But that's the whole point of trying this method out. There's 3 different methods of painting I'm going to be covering in this YouTube channel. This is numero dos. Or 3 isn't even worth going into. Just gonna keep enjoying painting. Coming up under here, there's a little underglow of this tomato paste. So we're going to here. Really lightest edge here. Nice. Pasting. Too terrible. Alright, so I got a chunk in around underneath this number 8. I have those two. So I got That's okay. So I can start pushing lighter tone into the deeper tone to balance out what I'm looking for value-wise. See that? Boom. Right there. I think that make a whole lot more sense. It's gonna be a really fun painting to do throughout the season this year. I don't have much, but I have a couple connections with Detroit right now. So hopefully after this is all done, I can by big, I mean maybe I could do like an auction at the arena because they have those silent auctions there. I've done auctions before, like live auctions with paintings before, and people go nuts buying raffle tickets to try to win an original piece of art. Like they'll be like, oh yeah, that sounds fun. I could, put that in my living room. And then they watch other people buy tickets, and you could just see in their eyes they're like, no, and then they jump right back up to the front of the line and snag a few more. Pretty. Yeah, we could find maybe a charity that's close to both the Red Wings and me, Red Wings and me. Nice. Okay, so before I do anything with these white voids here, I need to blend out these brush strokes that we just put down, kind of like softly merge them together. So I'm going to use a big thick brush for that. And just go through and remove any kind of harsh edges because this is like soft jersey material. And to do that, it's just your classic thing we do with background. It's very light touch. Move stuff into each other. Bob Ross would say use 2 hairs and some hair, a couple of bristles. This will really help smooth out transitions in the fabric here. I need a stronger crease that runs through here. And come back down to that earliest tone that I mixed the dark, that I used some phthalo green and some alizarin crimson with. Just get a little bit more of a crease line here. Here we're pretty good. I'm just going to reinforce that shadows there. Touches to the white. Yeah, that's nice. That is nice. And then I need to plug in some white for the voids of that 8 and that wedge there. So do that next. Do that. What brush did I use from yesterday? I think I still have one from the last stream. Decent amount of blue on it, but let's see if I can't just mix my way out of that. try to get this on without picking up too much of the red. A little bit of paint on top of paint is important, but I don't want it to be like all streaky. Trying to make sure to keep what's called edge fidelity with these darker spots on the inside of this number 8, the white of it. The edge fidelity meaning I don't want it to get too blended. I don't want it to be too soft on those edges. It needs to pop. Number needs to stand. Pretty red. I do like it. What else before we sign off? Let's just finish that little triangle inside of there. Shall we? We shall. That edge inside there is really soft in the reference, so we're gonna make sure to really eliminate that. There's the line. That's that edge. Yeah. You gotta get that little wedge of white. That's what I'm looking for. I'm dead as a doornail, so I'm gonna call it right here. I hope you guys had fun listening to me kind of sound like Will Arnett, and I hope we can do this again tomorrow. Feeling a little bit better. We'll see. I don't know. I'm supposed to have a interview done on Sunday for the travel portion of our channel, and I don't even know. So we shall see. But otherwise, thanks for swinging by. I promise I'll be a better host next time.